raining and the tide was out. And I was like so stressed out, like it's raining. It came all this way, it's raining, you know? And I had this happen multiple times. And then I'd be like, oh my God, it can't rain. Like as if I can control that. Plus that's why it's so green there, right? And then one day after doing this for God only knows how many times, like an idiot, I looked up and saw all my friends standing in the rain, laughing and playing and just having a blast like little kids. I was like, this is all my expectations about how things are supposed to be instead of enjoying what is. Instead of finding the good in whatever is in here in front of us, even if it doesn't seem like good. I can only give the example because I was so dumb. And I don't know if you've ever been dumb like me, but my guess is if you're human, you've had dumb moments. And let's have less of them. Let's be kinder to ourselves. Let's get rid of that stress. And how are we gonna do that? It's really simple. Whenever I get really stressed, I think somebody's done something, it's unfair, it's unjust, it's whatever, you know, on the surface, I always ask myself, or it's gonna destroy an opportunity or keep me from being able to serve somebody or whatever stupid idea get in my head because I've still got a 2 million-year-old brain just like you. And that brain is not designed to make you happy. That brain is designed to look for problems to make you survive so you can fight it or flight from it or freeze. That's the survival mechanism in our brain. And everybody's got to know about how sophisticated or smart you are. So what's the solution? One of those solutions is reminding yourself to ask a new question. What else could this mean? Maybe they're not trying to hurt me. Maybe they're just in survival themselves. Maybe this isn't the end of the world. Maybe there's a way to take this situation and turn it into an opportunity. Every great leader I know, every human being I know that has a magnificent life, it's not because everything goes their way. It's not because they don't have problems. I don't know anybody who doesn't have problems, even the ones you think that don't. I get the phone calls. I get to know the internal issues of that giant celebrity, that billionaire business person, and find all the problems they got inside. Everybody's got them because of the nature of the human mind. But we can free ourselves by finding an empowering meaning. Just ask yourself, what else could this mean? And find an empowering meaning. And in that moment, you become the master of your life. Listen, master emotion and you master your life. Master meaning and you master your life. Blessings to you on this holiday season. I'll see you next week.
Cancer is a terrifying word. It's the second leading cause of death in the US and Europe, and with people living longer, rates are only going to increase. Right now, there are 15 million people in the US living with cancer or in remission, but that's going to go up to 20 million by 2026. Cancer affects everyone. 1 in 4 people will be diagnosed with a disease at some point during their lifetimes, and even those who it does not hit directly, they're going to deal with its repercussions as well. We all know someone, a friend, a colleague, a loved one who has struggled with some form of this terrible disease, whether it be lung, breast, colon, skin cancer, or any of the various forms it takes. The good news is that research has progressed us to a point where the death rate from cancer has dropped by 26% since 1991. Nowadays, getting a cancer diagnosis doesn't mean your life must end. In most cases, you can fight. And people do fight. People like Chris Carr. You might recognize her name. She's the best-selling author of Crazy Sexy Cancer and has been a spokesperson and a leader for those living with cancer. Chris was diagnosed with a rare and incurable stage 4 cancer when she was 31 years old, and she decided against a triple organ transplant. She, like many others have done, decided to seek out treatment that combines traditional Western medicine like chemotherapy and radiation with more holistic treatments like a change in diet, exercise, and meditation techniques. And, like many others in her position, Chris went on an emotional journey as well. Here she is telling us about some of the shifts she made in herself, both on her own and at Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny, which she attended in 2018.
There's so much, and I think what I take away is some of the decisions that I've made and some of the habits that I've created don't serve me, and I have the power to change them by changing my energy and my emotions, and mostly the stories that I tell myself. And when you change your story, you change your life. And the interventions that you see, you learn through that person's experience. And we're all going through something. We all have our stuff. But being able to witness a master like Tony take you from one place to that place of transformation and give you the actual tools so that you can keep going, not like, oh, well, it's over, so it's going to wear off. But if you keep working it, you are going to have the life that you want. And you see that hope and that possibility in those folks that he does the interventions with, but you also see what's possible for you. Because I want a stronger relationship with my husband. I want a stronger business so that I can do more of my work in the world. And I really want to feel good, especially as a cancer patient and somebody who's been living with an incurable stage 4 disease for 15 years. My health is crucial to my ability to serve myself and serve others. So I'd say that while you have the opportunity to have so much transformation in such a welcoming, loving environment, you also have the power to heal your body at the cellular level when you start to do this deeper work. All of the stuff that we go through in life is really something that we can look at as a blessing, because there's so many nuggets and there's so much spiritual growth in those so-called struggles. And I think that the greatest relationship you can have with anything in this life is the relationship with yourself. And I'm leaving here more happy to be in my body than sometimes I can be, even though I'm supposedly successful. I'm leaving here feeling a lot more home in myself and feeling that I have just a pretty bright future ahead.
You're listening to the Force for Good season of the Tony Robbins podcast. To learn more about the 10 gifts that we're featuring this holiday season, including emotion, drive, growth, joy, gratitude, connection, consciousness, grace, presence, and forgiveness, please visit www.tonyrobbins.com/gifts, GIFTS. And to find Tony Robbins products and events that can help you identify your gifts, go to tonyrobbins.com/shop, SHOP. You just heard from Chris Carr, someone who transcended her circumstances and didn't let her diagnosis define her. And more importantly, didn't allow the way she felt about it define her. Because we're not our feelings. We're not even our thoughts. We're not even our behaviors. Listen as Tony works one-on-one with a man named Andre at one of his events and explains how we can separate from our emotions and thoughts and tap into our higher inner selves.
So who would like to share? I'd like to know, what's one or two of the most stressful thoughts? What do you feel? What does it trigger you to do? And what gets in the way? How would it change it? Let's start right here.
Hi, Tony. My name is Andre. I'm from Russia originally, but live in Miami now. So my first stressful thought is my relationship. I'm consistently thinking, can I find someone who I can actually spend my life with and enjoy it? Or will I be alone and just multiple women?
There's so much heart in that. Could you feel that? Glad you showed up. Before we go any further, he thinks this is his thought. Raise your hand if you have thoughts. One of your stressful thoughts is, will I find the right person, or have I the right person, or did I settle? I want you to notice, Andre thinks this is his thought.